have a gambling problem. The way he was acting, he got a gambling problem or a crack problem. But she definitely has a common sense problem for sure. Listen, her elevator did not go to the top floor at all. Greetings and welcome to my channel. My name is Tenicka. In case you are new here, my channel focuses on fashion, travel, and beauty and all the things. Today's video I'm going to be yapping, talking about the Danish deceiver, the Danish deception, the Danish delusion, the Danish desperation, everything related to this Danish deception story on TikTok. If you have not watched it, please go watch it. Or watch a summary of it, because I will not do the summary any justice. It essentially talks about how this woman of Nigerian descent, she's a Nigerian American. I believe she was born and raised in America, but she wears her Nigerianness like it is a piece of clothing that she takes on and takes off. It clearly does not mean a lot to her. She does not seem to have an anti-black, anti-colonial political, analysis. She seems to talk about how she is prideful of being Nigerian, but she quite literally let a white person tell her that they thought because she was Nigerian, she knew all about scams. We'll get there. We will get there. She went on vacation to Croatia. She met a Danish man who she describes as blonde hair, blue eyes, and looked like he came out of a Calvin Klein commercial. He looked like he crawled out of a hole in the Netherlands. Like he was a mountain man from back in the day. One of the Neanderthals. His brow was so far down, I cannot even describe it to you. The internet found receipts. Anyway, she allowed this man. Now, she is a victim. She is a victim. But she did actively at some point participate in giving away her money to this man, because not only did she think he was a millionaire who owned real estate properties, she also believed him when he said that he was royalty, although she went back to his humble beginnings and they lived in a very standard home. According to several people, he has a very standard last name. Nothing pointed towards he was a royal except for the fact that he told her this. And she believed it, okay? A month after they started dating, well, I should back up. They met abroad and then he wanted to see her, flew her out to Monaco, love bombed her, okay, in the south of France. Totally engulfed her with treats and designer, things and hotels. I'm sorry, she didn't actually get any designer treats. He asked her whatever she wanted, and she wanted a Dior bag, and she settled on some piece of glasses because she thought that that's all she wanted, because she didn't want him to think that she wanted him for her money. And there are some women who believe that's such a noble cause. Instead of allowing this man to financially show his value in a way that is amicable for her, because she had a great job. She had a day job. She did real estate on the side. She seemed like, for a single woman in Texas, that she had a pretty healthy savings. I don't know how much it was, but it was enough for her to donate, because that's what it was. Loaned this man $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 here and there. Shortly after they met, honey, this man, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, he started asking her for money by basically saying, like the Tinder swindler, that his money was tied up in this European, bank, in this European transaction. He was selling property, and he would always throw out these big figures, $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. And basically it went on like this for years. And in fact, she found out that he had a gambling problem. And not only did he have a gambling problem, he was borrowing money from her friends and family, including her parents, and telling her not to say anything. And she wasn't actively saying anything to her friends and family. And he asked them not to say anything to her. So this man scammed her entire family out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, including one of her really good friends out of like $200,000 in a crypto scam, because he thought this man was legitimate and he was buying into a business. Okay, I'm totally summarizing it. I'm missing stuff. Okay, go watch it so you can get all the details. But what was very clear to me almost immediately was this woman has a high level of internalized racism and internalized anti-blackness, and she finds finding white men attractive to me is not a red flag in and of itself. I think if you're heterosexual or bisexual and you find men attractive, I guess if you're a homosexual man and you find men attractive, you're going to find a white man attractive, right? But I don't think she had the intellectual depth. Like, it was very clear that her elevator did not go all the way up. Okay? It was very clear to me from her mannerisms, from her enunciation, from her the way that she displayed herself on screen, that she lived in a very segregated white community, and almost all of her cultural markers came from white women. That was very clear. From who she found desirable, to who she thought was wealthy, to who she just automatically assumed and gave power to, and handed over her own agency, her financial security to. It was very, very clear to me that all the men that she thought had access to resources were white men. That was very clear to me. She probably has dated a black man or two, but she reminds me, and I don't know a single person who this is their occupation, but for some reason she reminds me when I see videos of like the black Dallas Cowboy cheerleader or something. Like, I just imagine they act like this, just like a part of a deeply historical white institution with not a single race analysis. In fact, she came on our screens on national TV, aka TikTok, to tell us how black women were the main people who were talking bad about her. No, Goofy. It's not the black women that's coming to talk to you or talking bad about you or making fun of you. First of all, the women that I saw that were being very kind to you, but also the algorithm shows you disproportionately black women and black people because the algorithm knows that you are black. You may not know that, but the algorithm knows that because that's how AI works and that's how technology works. They know you're black. You may not know you're black. It was very clear to me that although she was a Nigerian American and she talked about being Nigerian with so much pride, it was very, 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 very abundantly clear to me that she wore her Nigerianness like it was a dress. Like it was a cool, fun fact. Like she was reading 3 things about her and it was one of 3 things. That she talked about going back to the village in Nigeria to a white man as like it is dangerous. And I'm not saying that it's not dangerous. I don't know what village she went to in Nigeria. But you live right now today in the murder capital of the world, America, with all these guns and firearms. And you are talking about Nigeria, the land of your people, in such a nefarious and nasty way with no racial politic and no analysis. And you're not going to convince me because she didn't display she had an analysis and a racial politic that she does. I don't believe it. And I know we as women, a lot of us are being, it sounds like we're being really harsh on her. And so I'm just going to get off of her for a second and use some, well, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Sorry. If you feel like we're being too harsh on her and we're dragging the situation, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will say in her defense, she is a victim. It doesn't matter how gullible, how naive, how much internalized anti-blackness you hold, how much you idolize white people and white men, that you should be victimized. He should have been a deeply better human being. And as far as I know right now today, he's still out there scamming and scheming people. So she is 100% a victim in this situation. Her family is a victim because of a lack of her due diligence. I hope that a year from now, because this just happened to her, the divorce was just finalized. I hope a year from now she will have a much better analysis than she does now. I hope she is wiser and I hope she is smarter. And that is the grace that I will give her. We all deserve grace. Some of y'all are you are more mad at her than you are at this man. And I think that's misplaced. But let me just say this. Onyeka, my sister in Christ. My sister in Christ. Let me tell y'all what the two biggest downfalls were and why you don't want to be involved in the Danish swindler, in the Croatian swindler, in the real estate scams that he was going around professing that he was a part of. Okay, first of all, let me just say this: Google is your best friend. Google is your best friend, girl. Hello? My 9-year-old niece could have figured out faster than she found out that this man wasn't an Olympian. Girl, you could have looked up. All you need is a nugget. Are you okay? A very tiny nugget. I had a girlfriend who told me that her girlfriend was going around dating billionaires. I said, oh, she dating white men? She said, no, he's a black man. Okay, boop, boop, boop. It's only so many black billionaires in the world. Billion with a B. Hello, somebody, come on now. I'm finna get to the bottom of it. When I tell y'all in 5 minutes, I said, oh, so she's dating an African. She said, no, he's an American. Oh, baby, that's 15 people. 15 men? I said, oh, she's with a married man. It's only one that's not married, Tyler Perry. It's only one black billionaire that's not married. That's a man, my dear. My God, today. Boop, 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 boop. You see how quickly? Y'all are not nosy enough for me, and that's the problem. She is not nosy enough. You're an Olympian. You're a millionaire. You're from a royal family. The way I would have been on Wikipedia all night, the way I would have been on the 7th page of Google, because one thing you're not going to do is tell me that you are a white man in the year of our Lord, with the history of colonialism and pillage around the world and countries and peoples built on white man lies, and you going to come to my face and tell me that you are the savior and the prince of Denmark that I've been waiting on my whole life with all these coins, and you gonna liberate and free me? And I'm not at the very least going to Google it. This is how internalized white supremacy works. And I think that what's startling to Onyeka and to so many people is that they miss the YouTube wave of interracial couples. Of watch my white husband, glow up. Watch my white husband touch my hair. Watch my white husband eat Nigerian food for the first time. And people were eating that up like it was funny. And they forgot that that is very cringe now. Why? Because people are smarter. They're woker. They have a class analysis. They understand all the ways that is problematic. It's not cute and it's not funny. Love who you love, but stop fetishizing yourself and trying to gain capital from it. It is disgusting and people find it weird. And she is mad and other people are mad because they can't capitalize off of that. Having a white husband doesn't bring you the social capital that you thought that it would. Period. And I just think that's startling to a lot of women. I mean, we can have another conversation about all the ways that having a man doesn't bring you the social capital that it used to. Not in progressive circles, it doesn't. Not on TikTok, not on progressive media. Maybe somewhere on a, white men who love black women, Black Planet page, somebody found that interesting. But people don't find that interesting. People are not flocking to you. You're not getting millions of followers because you are a thin, dark-skinned woman who is proximate to a white man. No, this is not 2004 YouTube. It's not interesting at all. In fact, I would argue in order to gain social capital from being proximate to a man, that man has to have a lot more things than most women realize. Right? Like, it's not just him being mute in the background, or, him being in a picture. No, who you choose as your partner is a political decision. And I think that a lot of women don't recognize that. And they think that having any man is better than having no man. No, girl, the truth is you have no man or a great man. That's it. You have no man or a great man. And I fear the girls don't understand that. There is no in between. There is singleness. that you enjoy and you find incredible and amazing and wonderful. That man is either a great man or nobody is rooting for you with a mediocre man. And she knew not to tell people because he said it was embarrassing. Yeah, it's embarrassing. Because you going around here cosplaying, okay, like you Prince Harry, Miss Thing, and she finna be the next Meghan Markle, and you gotta borrow money because come to find out you have a gambling problem. That's embarrassing. But she didn't care because she wanted the social capital of perception. And she didn't have to contend with a black family who was going to question that. And I'm not coming for her family, but it doesn't appear that her family was going to question his resources or interrogate this. And I do know in a lot of families, a lot of black families across the diaspora, this is not exclusive to Nigerians, there is a lot of families that really center marriage for their daughters in ways that is so challenging and so problematic. And I just feel like she went along with it because here was her Prince Charming. And she said she loved this man first after, like, I believe less than 60 days. And I think she was just in lust. I think that she was just in lust. And this is my challenge with the soulmate. You know, when you know, it will be, you know, it will knock you off your feet. You know, there is somebody for everybody narrative. I just find it so problematic because you can't, like, it's so hard for women to understand that you don't actually, you may never find your soulmate, right? In fact, that's okay. In fact, that is wonderful in this world where women are most likely to be killed by their partner in an intimate, violent relationship, or, you know, where women have worse health outcomes because they are married to a man, where women are more likely to be bankrupt, where women are more likely to suffer from so many more challenges just by being in a relationship with a man, and a man gains. And a man gains, including this man who you thought was rich. You thought this man had money, girl, and he didn't have no money. Now, mind you, she said she was defending him throughout the entire video. She kept saying, well, he does have some money because he has a job making $400,000 a year. I don't understand how she allowed this man to borrow $7,000 or $8,000 here and there from her. And because he needed to do this and he needed to do that and he needed to pay his taxes. And she says he had a job making $400,000 a year. And she said he had Rolexes, which come to find out they were fake. This is how Anna Delvey was able to scam people. They used their whiteness to get ahead. And they prey on people who have internalized white supremacy issues. When you see white people as the standard of beauty, as the standard of economic success, when you see whiteness as the standard, when you buy into this narrative that there is a certain way that you can have access to resources by the way that you dress, by the way that you talk and where you come from, you fall victim to this. And that's why we have to teach our daughters better. We have to teach our daughters to decenter marriage. Not just decenter men, decenter marriage. Okay? Decenter marriage. Decenter this idea that there is no turning back once you're married. This woman married this man, okay? And then went to a camp and had some burgers and she thought that was cute. And she still believed that he was just a humble prince. That he was from royal beginnings. He could only pull this stunt on a black woman, probably from America. And then after he borrowed money from her family friend, the family friend said, well, you're Nigerian, so I just figured you were in on the scam. What? And she giggling and laughing in TikTok in our face. What? That was so disrespectful to a culture that you say you love. That's why I know you're not serious. And that's why having an analysis around anti-blackness is really important. Because that's anti-black. It's anti-African and it's anti-Nigerian. And we can go into all the ways that Nigerians and Nigeria as a whole has issues with fraud. It is a country that has a high level of people that are hyper educated, and they don't have the economic infrastructure to support them. They don't have the jobs, and you have a vulnerable West who relies on these narratives around love and this idea that it is a reasonable request to send somebody you love money. Who? My daughter know not to send no man money. Ever. Ever. This is the big mama lifestyle that I try to warn y'all about, and y'all think it's cute, and y'all think it's fun, and y'all think it's funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. I don't know a single woman that has gained anything in the long run from giving men multiple amounts of money. From going into lucrative businesses with men without prenuptial agreements, without structure in place, for retiring men, for allowing men to be stay-at-home fathers and dads, and you are the sole breadwinner because you believe that it won't happen to you. That all these horror stories about women paying alimony and men cheating, and how? You don't live in a matriarchy. You live, I don't care if you have a matriarchy in your house. When you walk out the door, it is patriarchy. That man can do anything to end your marriage. I believe that Onyeka, if that man had not dumped her, she would have been sliding that man her Amex at the dinner table. She would be on Instagram. I know some people that their husband don't even have jobs. They work for them or whatever they call it. Child, and they are going around saying what their husband got them. How your husband get you something from a paycheck you cutting him? What? How are you? Talking about I didn't want him to want me, or I didn't want him to think I wanted him for his money. Why? I think it's totally appropriate to vet a man and ask him about his resources and show proof of funds. I need to see proof of funds, and not just you doing things on credit cards and we taking trips. No, I need to see proof of funds. I need to see how financially mature you are in isolation of me. I don't need you to be dependent on me financially. That is too maternalistic for me. Some people call it a matriarchy. I call it maternalistic. And I know y'all are like, oh, we're being too harsh on her. No, I'm telling y'all, this is really important for you to teach your daughters and for you to unlearn yourself. You have to decenter marriage and decenter men. You also have to decenter these pick-me narratives that I don't want a man for money. Why not? Again, I'm not saying don't have your own money. I'm saying have your own money and he has his own money. And he needs to be able to financially secure the bag. And some of y'all are like, I can do for him and he can do for me. This is not a matriarchy. This is a patriarchy. He needs to do the doing. He needs to do the doing. Period. He needs to do the doing. And not be complaining about it. Why is this man that you are sleeping with asking you for money? What? Are y'all okay? Y'all are not okay. People online were like, well, you know, he said he would pay her back. And here's the thing. He did pay her some of the money back. But obviously he didn't pay her everything. She come to find out, of course, he owed her entire family money. And I mean, it was really horrible. I actually feel really sorry for her. But I think we do our daughters a disservice when we consistently center marriage and we consistently center relationships. That this woman who seems to be making a decent living, she appeared to have 2 jobs and doing well before she quit one because he told her to just quit and focus on real estate. Child, and he can't pay the bills because he gambling all the money away. People are like, I don't think he was gambling. Well, of course she found out there was another woman in the beginning. He marrying her in the United States and there was a whole nother woman that he done scammed and schemed for 7 years and took all her money. He better have a gambling problem. The way he was acting, he got a gambling problem or a crack problem. But she definitely has a common sense problem for sure. Listen, her elevator did not go to the top floor at all. I will say another thing. This man used some very clear tactics that we see in men who are wealthy and men who are poor. I think the difference between Onyeka and a lot of girls out there is this man just had and appeared to be able to at least front like he had some of the resources. I know women who are giving away their Toyota Camrys and their Altimas when they go to work every single day. And this man is lying and saying he getting to the bag. And the only bag he getting to is your girlfriend's bag. And he's cheating on, like, I know people like this. So I see this happen at all income brackets. I've seen this happen at all income brackets. And I think people are just startled because the amount that she is revealing, it means something to the average American, right? It means something to the average person. It means something to me. Listen, there is no world where I'm giving somebody $160,000 because they a tall white man and he look like he's got good business acumen. No. No. Because you have to have more than white skin for me to believe you. But that's all that was required. Because that's how her parents raised her. To center whiteness and to center Europeanness and to believe white people. Right? Even though they have torn down villages, reconstructed entire continents based off of white lies. And she still, because she does not have an analysis, she chose to believe that. And that's what happens when you grow up like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader just around nothing but white people. Yeah. So this man used a lot of anxiety-inducing behaviors that I think we all need to be on the watch for, especially when it comes to men. Okay? He used a lot of financially triggering words like the IRS. You know, he constantly talked about real estate. He constantly had a financial surprise. He would calm her down just to make her anxious again. And men do this all the time. Right? When they lose at gambling, even the local dope boy on the street, when men want to hide money and, you know, shuttle it over to their side family, you have to be on the lookout for this kind of behavior, no matter the tax bracket this man claims to be in. Okay? Financial fidelity and financial security requires you to make sure you have resources in case there is an emergency. You, me, and everybody. Okay? You, me, and everybody. I am not, my savings account is not your financial backup plan. I don't know who told you I was a gullible black girl and I just had money laying around. That's for a Chanel bag. That's for a trip. That's for my emergencies. That is not for you and some big gambling debt that you played with some real estate property that comes to find out you didn't even own, according to his family and his sisters. And y'all know he wasn't royal. She didn't even have the decency to Google that. Oh my God. My sister's embarrassing me. She's embarrassing me. She embarrassed us all on national TV, aka TikTok. I'm just embarrassed. Another red flag that I think is really important that you need to look out for no matter the tax bracket of a man is when you see the red flags, it is a red flag. It's not a yellow flag. She was describing these as red flags, but in her mind, she treated them like yellow flags. A red flag means stop, don't move any further. Now you ask the man about it and watch him lie to you. No, that's a red flag. It's not a yellow flag. It's a red flag. And she saw red flags and she acknowledged that she knew they were red flags. But she was more committed to his whiteness and being a part of his whiteness and being a part of the fairy tale that she told herself because he love bombed her in the beginning. And she just moved forward with it. We have to be careful. Okay? You have to believe in misogyny. You have to stop thinking that it's not going to happen to you. Stop being delusional. That's why it's the Danish Delusion. Because you being delulu. Hello? You trying to tell yourself that it's not happening. And your mind is telling you that it is. It's not butterflies that you're feeling in your stomach. It is anxiety. Your brain is telling you no. Your brain is telling you no. This is not a Calvin Klein model. This is somebody that climbed out of a Neanderthal hole. And now he found himself unhoused at your doorstep. He lived with his mama. He lived with his mama. He just liked to take nice trips. And he knows you're gullible enough to take a nice trip. Because he found you what? On a trip. So he knows your love language. So this is like highly manipulative. You have to be careful when somebody is using your love language as a weapon against you. And you're being gullible. Okay? You have to be mindful of that. Then she kept saying in 2023, nothing really happened. We were financially struggling, but we were very much in love. How you in love and you're financially struggling? Quickly now. How is nothing going on but you're financially struggling? Y'all are a new breed and a different kind. How can everything be okay and you're financially struggling? I don't even know how y'all can be in love with men that don't have any money. Any money. I'm not saying a rich man, but this man doesn't have any, he can't give you any resources. He's not helping pay the bills because you are paying the bills. And she kept saying this man has a $400,000 salary and she can see it. You can see it. Why you didn't get your money? You think I'm finna be looking at a $400,000 salary and I'm not getting my money? He picked the right one. That's why. He picked the right one. He knew who to play with and who not to play with. Another thing is you have to stop allowing a man to use the things that he knows will help you escape against you. Like traveling she used as an escape. And this man, every time the going got tough, he booked the trip. And she's like, oh, we're putting it on credit cards. He was on a payment plan to pay my friend back. Was he paying? I have so many questions for you. I have so many questions. I feel so sorry for her. In the one way, I don't think she should necessarily be ashamed because this man is to blame. But this is a case study and a lesson for all women that you can be naive when you believe in love so blindly. Like when you think you are the one, that you were chosen. And that's the difference between her and Risa Tisa. Risa Tisa had an analysis like, I grew up in a religious home that centered marriage, that centered that one day, out of nowhere, a man will just choose me. And I will be whisked away. And this will be my soulmate. And I am going to stay committed no matter what kind of lies he tells me, as long as I stay true to the commitment, because I'm too embarrassed to turn around. This man, on Yeka's booth, the Danish Deception, okay, the Danish Delusion old man, he the one called off the wedding. She didn't even call off the wedding. He dumped her. He dumped her because he was tired of her asking him questions. And she wasn't asking nearly enough questions. She's just like, and he walked in and I was upset. I was so upset and I was mad and I was concerned and I was ready to go to war. You weren't ready to go to war. That man dumped you. You weren't even going to dump him. Now you trying to Danish deceive us. My God, today. Now you trying to come on national TV, aka TikTok, and you trying to deceive us. My God, today. And tell us what you was going to do. No, you wouldn't. Because if you were done, you would have been done. You wasn't done. You wanted another piece of that white chocolate cake. Because you thought that having a white man by your side was social capital. And you were taking pictures and you were doing skits and TikToks and you thought it was cute and you thought it was funny. And this man ain't had 2 pennies to rub together because he was gambling it away. Every day. And you wanted to be chosen at any cost. And that is so dangerous, dolls. That is so dangerous, my loves. It doesn't get any more dangerous than that. When you have a desire to be chosen and you believe that, you are less than single, this is why patriarchy and misogyny and men who believe in it and don't have an analysis against it is so dangerous. Because you can take the smartest, most educated, well-rounded, amazing woman and she believes, she will believe you. She will believe you. Because at the end of the day, when society and you grow up believing that there is somebody out there destined for you and it is just going to happen for you out of the blue, and then you say your vows and marry this person, and unless it's like, a big one like cheating or in a kid, a scandal, you're going to stay around. No, financial infidelity is infidelity, dime. Dime, hello. Oh, I know y'all teachers was mad. Oh, baby. Baby, when I tell you the way George Bush needs to be sued for leaving all y'all behind, just slow. My God, today. I ultimately believe that her biggest downfall was that she continued to center marriage and she was deeply indoctrinated by the whimsical and the fantasy of marriage, specifically a marriage to a white man. But I see this happen to black women all the time. They are so committed to the idea of black love. They think that marrying their black husband is going to, free the race and liberate everybody, and it's so liberating, and black love is joy, and they believe that so deeply that they will allow a man to do anything to them. Anything. That they will slide that man knowing he ain't got no money at all, a credit card across the table, just so he can feel better than. And then every time she called him out, Onyeka called this Danish man out, he kept saying that he made her feel like less than a man, yelling at her in public. Girl, please, I wish a grown man would yell at me in public. I wish a man would yell at me, but my daddy don't yell at me. My daddy ain't never yelled at me, in public or otherwise. Never. In all my life. It has never happened. I wish I would let a man yell at me. Are you well? We know the answer is no. I wrote a couple of things down that I want to make sure I remembered. So when it comes to the indoctrination of marriage, these are a couple of things that to me were glaring red flags. That if you have an analysis that does not center men, that if you are intellectual, if you are robust in your thinking, if you turn this idea on its head, that a man needs to find you whole and secure and financially stable and has the resources that you need, not necessarily what society needs, but he is financially stable, that he can, be a part of your life without wrecking your life, that he can add value to your life and joy to your life. These are some of the red flags to me. The speed of the romance. When a man is rushing you at that speed, it plays into this idea that, oh, when a man knows what he want, he know what he want, he not going to slow down, he not going to do. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. You can wait at least a year, 2 years. It don't gotta be 7, 8, 9 years. Now, if you 20 years old and it's 7 years, girl, that's fine. But you 30 years old, 7 years, that man is wasting your time. I don't care what y'all say. The speed of romance matters, okay? Her consistently saying she's not here for the money was an internalized red flag. She's a red flag. She's the red flag. She's the person that we need to watch out for. What do you mean you're not here for the money? You here for the poverty? What are you here for? You either here for the money or the poverty. The money adds to it. She did say in the beginning, oh, it's the cherry on top, but I'm here for you. Okay. Okay. It's a little bit more than the cherry for me. Okay. It's the foundation. All right. Period. Y'all need to be honest, and you need to be realistic with yourselves and your daughters. And we just need to be honest. Money matters. Love does not pay the bills. Never have, never will. Another thing, her constant need to protect her. To protect him. That was a major red flag to me. And that's a major red flag even as a mother, if you're talking to your daughters, your friends. When a woman is constantly like, I'm not letting people into my marriage and my business and this is that. That is emotional manipulation. That's how people isolate you. I'm not saying you need to be on the internet telling people all your business. You don't need to be doing this and that. But you need to have people close to you. They need to be clued in on some of your challenges. Period. No matter, it is worth the embarrassment. It is worth whatever you think. You should have people in your family that are trustworthy, your mother, your sister, somebody, but you should not emotionally isolate yourself because your mind is delusional. Your mind is in love, which is the state of sickness. It's telling you not to do this and do that. That's also internalized misogyny. This idea that women's job is to protect men. He wasn't protecting her. That's maternalistic. That you're constantly trying to protect this man. What do you need to protect this man for? He's the one doing the dirt. If he wanted somebody to tell a better story, he should have acted better. He should have acted better, my God. But he didn't. He didn't. That's not your problem. And you don't make it your problem at all. Next. It was very clear to me that had he not broken up with her, she would have resigned to this gambling problem as her destiny. Like, she was like, for better or worse, she was going to stick it out with this white man. Like, I'm grateful that she knew not to have children with this man because I think her Nigerian, like, identity saved her because she needs to have, like, 16 weddings. She needs to do this because they got married on the low. And that was like, she was emotionally isolated. She didn't tell people. But she needed to have the public engagement. And like, she needs to do all these things because that was a part of her culture. Right? And she needed people to celebrate her in a way that was like big and whimsical, which I think is great. But I think that is the only thing that saved her from not being pregnant. I honestly believe that. Yeah. She kept saying we were invincible. I can't remember. I couldn't imagine life without him. How? How? Huh? What do you mean? You can't imagine life without this man after 90 days. Like, this man got a green card out of you. He working in the United States. He's scamming people all across North America. And you talking about you couldn't imagine life without him. You were begging him to stay. You were saying, you are my husband. Come back. I sold your passport. This is a last ditch effort. Like, the level of desperation was so high. The level of needing this to work at all costs. I know women like that. I know women who believe that at all costs they're supposed to work on their marriage because they don't believe in divorce. I know people who are more afraid of divorce than they are of living a life in misery with a man. They are resigned to that as their destiny. There are women who are in marriages and they are suffering financially, emotionally, but at least they're not divorced. At least they're not single. At least they got a man. You are better off being single and depressed than being with a man and depressed. How do y'all not? How is we have a lot of undoing as a society. I'm convinced that it is the centering of marriage and centering of men in women's lives as the end all be all. You could have a degree, you could climb Mount Everest, you could start a fashion line of this or that, but as long as you have a man, he could be a mute man, he could be a man that isn't gainfully employed, he could be a man that's financially insecure, he could be a man that can't tell you 4 articles he read in the past month, that couldn't tell you who the vice president was, he can't tell you who his sit and say senator are, but as long as he got a man, long as she got a man. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I judge women based on the men that they're with, especially who you show me publicly. You are delusional enough to show me this man public. I'm not going to lie. There are women that I thought highly of, public figures, and then I saw the man that they chose to publicly be with. I'm not saying, listen, people have dated some nefarious men. Okay, sleep with and all that. Hey, I'm not here. But that you actively chose this man as your partner, even though he scammed you. But you did not have the wherewithal and the audacity and tenacity to get out of it. That you could not center your happiness in your own love story is insane to me. I can't. I'm in a state of shock. I need to do this lip, but I'm in a state of shock. But the thing is, it's so believable. This is typical behavior from women who center marriage and center men. Like, it's a lot of times that I want to be like so completely shocked. And I'm like, girl, are you really shocked? And the answer is no, not really. No, not really. I'm really not shocked. If I'm being honest with you, no, I'm really not. Another thing that struck me, and I think this happens across all economic brackets, is, you know, every time she would say something, he would be so upset and he wanted to divorce her and he wanted to leave her because he felt like he was entitled to peace. Because he used her marriage as a weapon. Because he knew from her behavior that she was so desperate to be married. That I think, because she was like, oh, he's blowing me up, he wants to get back together. Yeah, because he wants some money and he needs some money. Hello? He lost another bet. And also he knows that being married is really important to you. And that you want to be married. He knows that because you talked about that. You know, it's just you and him against the world. You consistently centered him every single time. This man is doing you wrong, taking your money, and you talking about it's you and him against the world. Baby, it's him and that gambling table against the world. You and him. Do he know it's you and him? Do he know? I don't think he know. Nobody told him. You got to tell the man that is you and him against the world. Because he don't know that. I just think it's so strange when men across economic brackets think that they are entitled to peace after they cause destruction. They like, well, you keep nagging at me. Girl. Nagging. Child, I was going to do that anyway. And then she's like, well, I didn't want to make him mad and I don't want to do this and I don't. Girl, please. Girl, that's the least you can do. That's the least you could have did. was made him upset, girl, he's not entitled to peace. Do you know it's broker men? It's men that are richer and poor, broker. It doesn't matter. And they feel so entitled to peace after they done did you wrong. They don't want to hear nothing about it. If you didn't want to hear nothing about it, you shouldn't have did it. Hello? Onyeka got this first part, but she didn't get it holistically. Unfortunately, when you actively choose men, and you choose to be public with a man, and you choose to marry a man in such a grand and big way, and you choose to display this man publicly, that man, unfortunately, is a representation of you. I know it's sad for so many women. You do not get the blame if that man cheats on you. It's not your fault. Like, I don't believe in that. But I do think that the quality and character of that man, his job, his hobbies, what he thinks politically, socially, is a reflection of you. I do believe that. It's a reflection of you, what you think about yourself and your values. It is. It is. Okay? And it is very clear to me that she thought she was a white woman. That's what she thought about herself. And she felt like she was entitled to this lie that he lied about. And she was constantly in search of that lie. Like, she wasn't willing to tell her family and friends, no, this man don't got a bunch of money. That she had to borrow money for her wedding dress. That you planning a wedding with a man who ain't got no money. And you were perfectly okay with that. And you were willing to foot the bill. She was willing to foot the bill over and over again. She talked about that. She displayed that. Even after she knew this man was gambling away her money again. And her friends and family money. She found out this man was borrowing $160,000, $200,000. And she still was willing to go toe-to-toe for this man. Because it's what she thought she deserved and what she wanted. And she thought she could keep that a secret. Because he cosmetically and aesthetically fit what she wanted. And listen, it is racialized, right? Because it's internalized racism. But to be honest with you, I see this with black women who choose black men too. They are like, they will slip that man their card. They will cash app they boo. They will pay all the bills. They will give themselves flowers. They will say that they will do anything to say that they are with a man, especially if he's, attractive to them. If he is sexually attracted to them and he fits the bill and this is what other women find attractive, they will foot the bill for him. They will. Emotionally and mentally, because they are married to the aesthetics. They are married to the internalized indoctrination. And they will do all the things that people swear up and down you got to do in a marriage. I'm not doing them. But they, for better or worse, you got to stick it out. You got to do all this. We have been deceived, my loves. We have been deceived by yet another white man. Okay, I feel sorry for her. I really do. But honey, we have to know better. We have to know better, and we have to do better. We must. She did deserve better. She did. She honestly did. But she saw red flags, but she was so like that religion. She centered her religion. She centered her identity around being a wife and being a partner and being there for better or worse. And she even talked about her parents were married for a long time and all these things. And like somehow she is going to game the system and she is going to be better and it is going to work because she's a better woman and a better human because she is not looking for the money. All this is, those are lies. You're under spells, people. You are under spells. We're under spells. No. You are a human being. You deserve respect and decency. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. It does not matter the color, creed, height, or bone structure of that man. If he do not have the resources for the decisions and risks that he makes, especially early on in your relationship, but I would even venture to say any time in your relationship, that is on him and him alone. He should not ever be a financial burden for you and to you. Don't let a man convince you to quit your job because you believing in the trad wife content and the people say she followed Trump and, she might be a conservative and all and your politics is messed up. A man is going to prey on you consistently because you have proven yourself to be vulnerable because you do not have an analysis on all the reasons why society has groomed women and girls to believe this foolishness. Don't believe it. Okay? Don't believe it. That's my spiel for the day. Hopefully you guys like these kind of videos. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Also hit the bell notification so that you never miss an upload from me. And I will see you dolls in the next video. Bye.